I believe Sacred 3 can be summed up with this scene right here.
I'm free to be your favorite spirit.
Let's rewind.
I'm free to be your favorite
Notice
spirit.
here, this visible pause I take as I think to myself, what the f was that? Yeah, that's Sacred 3. Let's talk about gameplay first, shall we? Now, I haven't played any of the other Sacred games, so I'm not going to compare them. I'm just going to be taking Sacred 3 for what it is. An action RPG in the vein of Diablo. And by all means, it's competent. Left-click to swing your weapon, right-click to break enemy shields and stun them, number keys to activate special attacks. It all works well and plays smoothly. The best thing about this game is that slaying monsters is highly satisfying. And luckily, Sacred 3 likes to throw them at you in droves. The game also gives you alternate ways to kill enemies by letting you interact with your environment, or even using enemies themselves as weapons. Seriously. Throwing an enemy will basically one-shot any other enemy. I found it a bit odd, really. Slice you with a sword? Fine. Throw a body at you? Dead, dead, dead. I'd complain a little bit more about this, but human bullying. However, there are some mighty big differences between Sacred 3 and its action RPG brethren. The first that I've experienced thus far is the lack of actual loot, which is very odd for this genre. Typically, these things are lootathons, with gear and weapons coming at you like teenage girls throwing themselves at insert popular teen boy icon here. Seriously, every generation has one and they're basically interchangeable. And I'm sure I just pissed off some people there. Instead, you'll earn weapons, items, and new skills at the end of the level. Each weapon has a different effect that may change your playstyle. For example, my first sword had an effect that sent out lightning bolts to hit enemies at random. My second sword had the chance to spawn extra energy orbs. You then level up these weapons with gold to make them stronger and add additional effects. Special skills seem to work nearly the same way, learning new ones as you level up and then using gold to increase their effectiveness. Another big difference is that Sacred 3 is not an open world. It's more of a lobby-based game, picking missions and difficulties, and possibly grouping up with others. If you're into that sort of thing. While this does break immersion a bit, it makes the game playable in nice little chunks. All in all, it works. It's just different. And while I do miss the truckloads of loot, I don't miss the hours of inventory Tetris. And then there's weapon spirits, but that brings me to a totally separate part of Sacred 3. The humor. Sacred 3 does not take itself very seriously. Here's the first line of dialogue that is not from the prologue.
So I assume we're not here to stand dramatically around a table?
By the way, this joke didn't land for me. Can someone tell me why? Seriously, it should be funny. It's not a bad joke or anything. Is it just poorly delivered or timed or something? I can't figure it out. Please, someone help me. The only explanation I have is that maybe the game is a bit too self-aware sometimes for the humor to land appropriately. It's not unfunny, it's just...
You don't scare us. We'll clear the rest of your men and... What's scurvy?
Yeah. I don't know. And that brings me to the weapon spirits. They change some of the effects on your weapon and can be leveled up just like your weapon, but the major thing about them is they talk.
Usually I get ambushed by the ladies. Oh.
It's kind of funny.
They stole our heart? They didn't even buy us dinner first. I love doing it with you.
Okay, shut up. Frankly, Sacred 3 is competent and its tone is extremely lighthearted. I haven't gotten too far, but at this point the RPG elements don't seem very complex, which is kind of a downer. Also, the lack of actual loot may stop people from continuing to play. But if you just want to kill monsters in a mindless and entertaining way, Sacred 3 is enjoyable. Just not $50 enjoyable. Oh, and I also like to imagine the bad guy named Zane is actually Billy Zane. Makes it way more fun. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you want to stay up to date on when I upload a new video, then make sure to click that subscribe button. And if you want to stay up to date on absolutely everything I do, you can follow me on Twitter. That'd be pretty cool. If you want to watch more of my videos, I've put 2 of them right here. And if you really want to support what I do, please make sure to share this video with anyone you think might enjoy it. And if you want to take even a bigger step to support what I do, you can also visit my Patreon page. Thanks again, everyone.